In 2013, two of the most valuable technology companies on earth wired me $122 million. They didn't know me. They never met me. They never spoke to me on the phone. I sent them an email, and they paid. Again, and again, and again. For 2 years. My name is Evaldis Rimasauskas. I am Lithuanian. I am 50 years old. And the FBI has my file logged under what they call business email compromise. $2.8 billion in losses last year alone. 24,768 reports filed with the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Mine was the largest BEC case they ever prosecuted. Most people imagine a hack, a keyboard, a hood, a screen full of green code, someone breaking through a firewall, cracking a password, planting malware. That is not what I did. I did not write a line of code. I did not exploit a vulnerability. I did not bypass a security system. I did something simpler than that, and worse. I sent invoices. Every large company on earth runs on 3 things: email, invoices, trust. Take away the trust, and the other 2 become weapons. Every good con starts the same way. You don't pick a victim. You pick a relationship. The victims are just whoever happens to be at the other end of it. Quanta Computer, a real company. Taiwanese, headquartered in Taoyuan. They build server hardware. They are not famous. You have probably never heard of them. But Google and Facebook have. Quanta has been one of their hardware suppliers for over a decade. Real contracts, real shipments, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That relationship was my doorway. I did not need to break into Google. I did not need to break into Facebook. I just needed to stand in the place where Quanta was supposed to be. In 2013, I incorporated a company in Latvia. I gave it the same name as the real Quanta, same spelling, same letters. A perfect duplicate, registered in a different country. Then I built the rest. Bank accounts in Latvia, controlled by me. Bank accounts in Cyprus, controlled by me. Email accounts that looked like they belonged to real Quanta employees. Spoofed addresses 1 character off from the real ones. A signature block. A logo. A corporate seal. Embossed, raised. The kind banks like to see on official documents. I forged contracts. I forged letters of agreement. I forged invoices. I designed all of it to look like Quanta was billing for hardware that Google and Facebook had actually agreed to buy. Because here is the thing about a long-term vendor relationship. When invoices show up that match the pattern of every other invoice you have ever paid, you don't question them. You process them. That is the job. I sent the first invoice in early 2013, $23,000. Small. A test. A whisper in the noise of a global vendor system. It was paid in 2 weeks. The second was bigger. The third, bigger still. By the end of 2013, my fake Quanta in Latvia was billing Facebook and Google for millions of dollars a quarter. They paid the way they always paid, through their accounting departments, through routine wire transfer authorizations, signed off by people who had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. Over 2 years, I extracted $98 million from Facebook, $23 million from Google, a combined $122 million, wired across the world to bank accounts in my name and the names of shell companies I controlled. Money this big can't sit. You move it, you break it apart, you scatter it. From Latvia, the wires went to Cyprus, from Cyprus to Slovakia, to Hungary to Hong Kong. Bank accounts in 6 countries on 3 continents. Every account legally registered. Every transfer technically valid. Every paper trail layered to take an investigator months to follow. 2 years, 6 countries. $122 million. And nobody at Google or Facebook noticed the money was leaving. Something always breaks. In my case, it was reconciliation. In late 2015, an internal review at one of the companies flagged the wire payments. Someone in finance compared invoice line items against actual hardware deliveries. The numbers did not match. The hardware described in the invoices had never arrived. The invoices were not real. The companies called the FBI. The Internet Crime Complaint Center opened a case file. Federal investigators traced the wires backward. Latvia, Cyprus, Slovakia, Hungary, Hong Kong. Across 6 countries and dozens of accounts. They followed the corporate registrations. They identified the man behind the fake Quanta in Riga. In March 2017, Lithuanian authorities arrested me. I was extradited to the United States. In 2019, I pleaded guilty in Manhattan federal court to one count of wire fraud. I was sentenced to 60 months in U.S. federal prison. I was ordered to forfeit $49.7 million and pay $26.5 million in restitution. Google recovered most of what they lost. Facebook recovered the bulk of theirs. The rest, gone. Here is what you take from this story. I did not break into anyone's network. The FBI logs nearly 25,000 BEC complaints every year. $2.8 billion stolen in the United States alone in 2024. The companies losing that money are not careless. They are some of the most secure companies in the world. The pattern is the same every time. So watch for these. 1, the email address, not the display name, the actual address. 1 character off, 1 letter swapped, 1 extra dash. That is the entire scam. Look at it before you click reply. 2, the urgency. Every BEC email contains pressure, a deadline, a wire that has to clear today, a boss who needs an answer in the next hour. Real business does not move that fast. Fake business has to. 3, the change of bank details. The most successful BEC attacks come from accounts that already exist in your system. The vendor is real, the contract is real, the only thing that changed is the bank routing number on the new invoice. Verify it by phone to a number you already had, not the one in the email. 4, the unusual request. Wire transfers outside of normal patterns. Payments to a country the vendor does not operate in. Single transactions much larger than usual. Anything that breaks the rhythm of a relationship. 5, the silence. The accountant who paid my invoices for 2 years never spoke to anyone at the real Quanta, not once. If a vendor is pulling millions of dollars a quarter out of your business and the only contact is email, you do not have a vendor relationship. You have a vulnerability. The FBI says BEC has cost American companies more than $55 billion since they started tracking it. $55 billion. From people just like the ones at Google and Facebook. People with degrees. People with security teams. People who thought it could not happen to them. I was one man with one fake company and one email account. Imagine what 1,000 of me are doing right now.